Press any button to continue. Not quite, but we will add custom keybinds to Minecraft. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x, all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, my friends, back and tell you once more, and in this tutorial we'll be adding custom keybinds, or as they're called in the business, right here, key mappings, to our Minecraft mod. Now, there's sort of two components to this, and the first one is just the keybind and the key press itself. That's what we're gonna add in this tutorial. Now, this will do something, but the thing that it will do is display a message on your client, and that's kind of it. There's nothing else that's going to happen, because for something sort of major to happen, we will actually need to also send a package to the server, meaning we need networking, which is gonna happen in the next tutorial. But for the time being, we're gonna jump in here in the tutorial mod package with a new package called key mapping. That is exactly right, and that's why we're gonna add the mod key mappings. That's exactly friggin' right, and this is going to look kind of like this. I actually like it a little bit more when the M is also capitalized, but that's just me. We're gonna have a public static void register method with nothing actually. No event bus over here needed, because we just need the register method. And then we're gonna have the key mapping as well as a lazy of the key mapping. We'll take a look at this. So this is gonna be, first of all, with a private static final. This is a key mapping over here, and this is gonna be key underscore mapping underscore Kaupen. So this is the Kaupen key. Now, the way that you should use a key mapping is this should be an action, not a key. So while we could say this, well, we're going to put this per default to the key K, that's fine, but it should be an action, right? So what are we doing? We are, double jumping, we're spawning a cow, we're digging into the ground. It's an action that you map over here, right? So you're not really mapping a key, you're mapping a map, you're mapping an action, very important. This is going to be equal to a new key mapping, with the first one being a translation. So this is key.tutorialmod.kaupen. Then we're going to do input constants of, in this case, key sim. This is so that we are using the keyboard. Then we're defining what the key is. We do this with glfw dot and then glfw underscore key underscore, and then whatever key we want here. For example, we can use K. You can also use, P, O, LMNOP, whatever you want to do, but we are using K over here. This is going to be the default key. And then this is going to be the miscellaneous category, and that is it. That is going to be all that we need for the key mapping. And then each key mapping needs a public static final, and this is going to be a lazy of type key mapping. And this is going to be the press Kaupen over here, which is going to be a lazy.of, and then you can see it actually suggests to us over here the supplier of the key mapping Kaupen. Why we specifically need the lazy? It's like with these loading things, it has to do with basically loading. But basically here we need the lazy of the key mapping to be used, and that's going to be okay. We then move to the tutorial mod client class, very important, and inside of the tutorial mod client constructor, that is what we're going to call mod keymappings.register. Extremely important that we only do this in the mod client class. If you do it in the normal tutorial mod class, it's not going to properly work, because this is a client only thing. The server doesn't know anything about key presses right now. It would only know if we told the server, hey, we just pressed this key. Now, for the purposes of our case over here, we're going to, of course, also add some functionality. This functionality is going to be in the form of an event right here within the tutorial mod client class. And that's going to be a public static void. This is going to be the on client tick method, actually. This is going to have the client tick event dot post. So this is the event or basically the tick that is happened after each client tick. And of course, we need to add the subscribe event annotation above. Very important. So public static void the subscribe event annotation, and we're using the client tick event dot post. Now inside here, you can do a couple of different things. So you can either do an if statement or a while loop over here, and we're going to use a while loop, and we're going to use mod key mappings dot press Kaupen dot get dot consume click right here. And the reason why we're using the while loop is that is going to make it so that if I hold it down, it's going to continue to call this every tick. That's really cool. If you do an if statement, obviously, then you can only press it down once, and it's going to consume it, and then that should be it. Yes, I think that's pretty much how it would work. That's how I understand it. Now here, right, very important here, we are on the client. Okay, I usually like to add comments over here to know where are we at, because right now we can't do many interesting things. So let's say, for example, spawn a cow. The issue is that's not going to work because we are here client only, and the client does not have have the power to spawn a cow on its own, because if the client could do that, then what would happen is that you could just, press a button and you just spawn yourself, 1,000 diamonds, and that's the game, and there's cheating rampant everywhere. Now, there might still be cheating rampant everywhere, but that's, it's still one step that makes it a little bit harder. But what we can do is we can use Minecraft.getInstance.player, and then we can send as this player, basically as ourselves, send system message with a component literal over here. I'm going to just say, hey, I just pressed the Kaupenjoe key. Boom. There we go. And there you have it. So that's what we're going to do right here. And the final step here is the translation, because you want the translation of this right here to, of course, also exist. There we go. This is the Kaupenjoe key. Makes a lot of sense. And that's actually the entirety of a custom keybind. I know, or key mappings. Like, I know it seems pretty crazy, but the actual keybind itself is now added. We can press the K button and we're going to find right here that we're going to get this output. Like I said, because we're on the client right here, we can't really do anything substantial. So we can't heal ourselves. We can't get ourselves any sort of special powers or anything like that. But that we will need networking. But just for the sake of argument, let's jump into the game and press some buttons. All right, I found us back in Minecraft, and let's just press the K button, and I just pressed the Kaupenjoe key. If I hold it down, you can see it continues to go up because, well, that's the whole idea, that we have basically made the while loop instead of having an if statement. But I also highly recommend you test this out a little bit. And of course, you can also always go to the options, controls, keybinds, and under miscellaneous, you will actually find this if I know where miscellaneous is. And well, this adds the functionality. We need to add another method over here, which is a public static void, of course, once again. And that's going to be the register keybinds method. And that is going to have the register key mappings event. I guess we could call it register key mappings. It's a little bit more in tune with what we're actually registering. Yeah, there we go. And that's going to be the event. And as per usual, of course, add subscribe event annotation. And inside, very straightforward, we're just going to call event.register, passing in mod key mappings dot press Kaupenjoe key, or press Kaupen.get. This is going to make it appear within the options menu, and this is going to, well, add the functionality. So in theory, you don't even have to register it, although I feel like this is a little bit weird that it, like, in theory works without the registration, but yeah, you should definitely do both. With both of those added, let's jump into the game and see if it presses. Oh, I found it back in Minecraft, and let's just press the K key over here. Look at this, I just pressed the Kaupenjoe key, and if I were to hold it down, you can see it continues to, well, basically execute the command that we put in over here, because I have done a while loop. You can also, of course, test it out with an if statement if you so choose to. And when we get to the options menu under controls, keybinds, we can scroll past jump in on E all the way to miscellaneous right here for the Kaupenjoe key, which is K, and then we can, for example, put it to U if we wanted to, and that also works. Exactly right. And now K does no longer work because, oh, we've changed the freaking key over here, and that is how easy that is. And now we can go back over here. Why is miscellaneous so high up, by the way? There we go. Miscellaneous, reset, easy, and then K works again. And there we go. Custom K mappings. Awesome. And that's gonna be it for this tutorial right here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the support of the patrons and the YouTube members. Don't forget, if you join as a Stonebricks member on YouTube, you can get up to 14 days of early access, including this video right here, where we'll do an intro to networking, client to server. Hope to see you there. So yeah.